You all made Kylie Jenner cry because you've bullied her and called her ugly over and over and over again. And now she's out here sobbing on her family's hit reality television show because she thinks society has been unnecessarily cruel to her for her whole life. How many girls has Kylie Jenner made feel insecure about themselves because of the impossible body standards she set throughout her whole career? Raise your hand if you've ever felt personally victimized or worse about yourself after you saw a photo of Kylie Jenner on her Instagram. Is it just me? He doesn't even go here. I don't care if I'm not a girl. I also feel exactly like that. So it seems like there's been some girl-on-girl crime here. Is Kendall Jenner correct that society has unnecessarily witch-hunted the Kardashians and they're just helpless victims in this situation, like Regina George? Or is Kylie Jenner actually being deceptive with her crocodile tears and she knows she's the perpetrator in all of this? Or is Kylie Jenner actually a victim and just one smaller part of a bigger problem? We're gonna talk about that all today here at Pop Culture University with Professor Patty. Thank you so much for clicking. I'm so happy you're watching. Thank you for watching and attending class. A+ for you. You should enroll here by subscribing to be a revisiting student and be a teacher's pet. Like the video, comment, share, do what I want you to do, or you will be brought up to the front of the class, bent over and spanked on the booty with a ruler. But let's get into all the scathing tea that we're gonna talk about here today in class. Get out your notebooks because it's coming at you hot and quick, and class is in session. So the Kardashians have definitely been very problematic throughout their whole career. One of the biggest critiques about them is that they set unattainable beauty standards. And like the old age adage goes by TLC, we can buy our hair if it won't grow. We can fix our nose if we say so. We can buy all the makeup that Kylie Jenner can make, but we need to look inside of us and think, how are we in a position that we feel so unpretty? And that's the million-dollar question, the billion-dollar question that Kylie Jenner has to grapple with herself this week. Because what led to Kylie Jenner having her first breakdown, she said, about how much people have bullied her about her look? She said she's never cried about it until this episode kind of started back in January 2024 when Kylie Jenner and that massive lion on her shoulder dared to show her makeupless face at Paris Fashion Week. She ended up getting more hate about her face look than how Doja Cat's face looked with her thousands of red bedazzled vajazzled beads on her that was triggering everyone's trypophobia. There were some really nasty comments in her comment section saying she looks just as old as her mom, Kris Jenner, that she spent thousands of dollars to look 10 years older, that she's looking 40 at 26, and she's leading the charge of Gen Z aging terribly, which really scares me because I'm only 23 and I literally feel like I'm aging like the cup of milk I just drank. It's very unfortunate. So Kylie Jenner, please hold out for us Gen Z people and prove them wrong. However, it was really terrible for her. I will agree her filler did not look the best that day, and I truly just think this was like a fault of her plastic surgeon. It just looked unsmooth. It was not giving Beverly Hills Doctor. It was giving Tijuana. It did not make me wanna also get some filler in my face. It just looked unsmooth. It was not her best look. So she probably was definitely having a panic attack seeing all the negative comments about herself, as any of us would. So on our show, she said she thinks it's a miracle that she can even look in the mirror every day and still think she's pretty, and that she hears nasty things about herself all the time, but they never really made her cry like this. Take a look at the video.
I went on a journey the last year dissolving like half my lip filler. I hate even having this conversation. Like, I've never cried about this before, but I guess it does affect me. I'll see some comments and it's like, or some people be like, this is really mean, and defend me. Like, why are we talking about her looks? It's 2024. And then I'll see other comments like, because she did it to herself, she up her face, she has so much surgery. And I'm like, even if I did get so much surgery and I have this and I got all these things, I still don't think it's okay to talk about someone's look. People have been talking about my look since I was 12, 13, before I even got lip filler. And it's just so hurtful. I look old. I see it under every post.
I'm not even just saying this. You've never looked younger and you've never looked better.
Thank you.
So Kendall Jenner, her wise yet completely not wise, naive older sister, said that as the Kardashians, they get unnecessarily picked on and dehumanized by the Neanderthals who are down here in our ugly little swamp huts and our cheap H&M clothes. Well, the classy, civilized human beings behind the pearly gates of Bel Air like them are the real crown jewels of the human race who would never bully or judge anyone, and our hate for them is completely unwarranted. That is what Kendall Jenner seemed to imply there. And I think Kylie Jenner does have a good point when she says even if she did get work done, we shouldn't bully her. We shouldn't comment on her look. I think there's some merit to that. And I wanna play devil's advocate for a bit because, spoiler alert, I don't feel bad for Kylie and I'm about to roast, but before I do that, I want to say Kylie Jenner has been getting the shit end of the stick since she was very young. I think people have been mercilessly rude about her looks, especially at her age of like 12, 13, 14, 15. Basically, before Kris Jenner signed off on the parental consent form at the plastic surgeon, allegedly, she was just getting called the ugly duckling of the bunch, the ugliest sister. I truly remember watching the show when I was young, and I would go out of my way to say that Kylie was my favorite Kardashian and that I liked her more than Kendall when they were young, because I noticed no one was doing that. And I was like, I would literally cry if I was her. And I felt like that kind of in my own family. So I was like, I feel like I'm the ugly duckling, and I can kind of relate to someone with ugly duckling syndrome. I feel like that's what Kylie Jenner has. We'll get into that more in a second. However, my initial reaction to this episode, even with me trying to have empathy, was that I don't feel bad. I was actually kind of enraged because I feel like because the Kardashians have the $1 billion, the camera crew, the executive producer titles, that they get to control the narrative. And they were only shining light on 5% of the conversation of a much larger 95 percentile of a very big societal issue that they could be at the root of. But they were only focusing on the 5% that makes them look like victims. And I don't think Kylie's evil, but she is guilty. The beauty standards that she's set that have messed with girls' minds, she's definitely guilty of. She subtly shames women for their looks, and not because she wants to be this Cruella de Vil asshole, but because that's just how the beauty industry works. And as a CEO in the beauty industry, you're playing into that whether you want to admit it or not. She sells you products about her lips and her skin and her hair and her body, and she says, buy these and you won't feel ugly when you look in the mirror anymore. You fail, puta. Do you want to love yourself for once? Go to KylieCosmetics.com, you ugly rat. That's basically what the business model is and has been for the Kardashians forever. Not just when it comes to their products, but also when it comes to the way they garner attention. They trade the opportunity to look at their body and look at their gorgeous eyes on their Instagram for likes. They know that sex sells, and sex is your appearance, unfortunately. And because of that, and because of her career, there is invitation to discuss her looks. And I know that sounds awful, but it is the inalienable truth. And Kylie Jenner also has encouraged some of this hyper dissection of her looks because of her repeated lying. She's been caught lying about her plastic surgery multiple times. She lied bold-faced with her chest about her boob job for 5 years. She lied with her chest. And then she finally came clean on the last season of The Kardashians. She lied about her lip filler for a long time that led people to do the Kylie Jenner lip challenge and go to the hospital. Oh my God. And last season on her show, when she said she doesn't want plastic surgery to be a part of her story anymore, and she wants to let people know that they're beautiful no matter how they look, and she just thinks everyone's a princess rainbow unicorn. I thought that was the most ridiculous thing in the whole world. She says she doesn't want plastic surgery to be a part of her narrative. That's like a murderer who finally gets out of jail after 3 decades being like, I don't want murder to be a part of my story anymore. Unfortunately, that is the whole story, and it's going to remain your story. So is Kendall Jenner right, and society just unnecessarily dehumanizes them because we're bitter, jealous trolls who hate ourselves so much, so we have to tear down God's favorites, the beautiful people on the planet who actually have class and elegance like the Kardashians? Because that's kind of what she was implying there. No, I don't think we dehumanize the Kardashians. I think they dehumanize themselves. By the way, Kendall, you still haven't unblocked me on TikTok. You dehumanize yourself when you become capitalist goblins and untouchable celebutants who distance themselves purposely from the middle class. They purposely go out of their way to not relate to the commoners. They let us know without explicitly saying that we are not like them, they are not like us, they are the haves and we are the have-nots. I think a lot of their habits, even beyond how they look, have exposed that, like hoarding well and their carbon emissions and not taking a global pandemic seriously. All of that will dehumanize you, Kendall, unfortunately. But since we're on our reality show and we scripted this segment, we're just gonna make you guys feel bad so they could build some ethos and some sympathy around them to keep the business model going. So yes, when you lie about what you have had done and you maybe trigger some body dysmorphia in millions of girls and tarnish the planet with your carbon that you spew out of your Kylie Jenner air jet, I think that is 100 times more evil than a few people on social media saying you've aged badly. However, I want to say I do not think the Kardashians are the root of the problem. I think the Kardashians are just a product of the problem, and unfortunately they're playing into it the best. They're playing into the worst parts of humanity, which is, I think, our natural inclination to have our pupils dilate to beautiful things. I think humans are born with the propensity towards the attractive, towards the aesthetically pleasing, and it's like something we can't help. It's just something we yearn for. I think the serotonin or dopamine that goes off in our brain when we see something that we deem attractive is what the Kardashians are playing into. It's like they kind of know what they're doing is fucked up, but they're looking at us and saying, I dare you to look away. And they're just going after our, like, the barbaric way our biology is wired in our brain. So I think beauty standards have always existed just for the purpose that humans were wired to have beauty standards. I think when people say we should live in an idealistic world where we don't judge each other for how each other looks and our whole life should be like Love is Blind on Netflix, it's just not going to happen. Unfortunately, I wish it could, but it's just not going to. And the Kardashians know that, so they try to look their best all the time. I mean, pretty privilege is a thing for a reason. But there's also other parts of a bigger problem that are capitalism and the patriarchy. I mean, the male gaze is much more dehumanizing than the female gaze. I think females are better in every single way possible. So the fact that we live in a patriarchal society, I think it emphasizes the women who do play into the male gaze, and they just make it worse. I think the beauty standard problem would always be here, but it's just worse because of how society is. So they're not necessarily the problem. They're actually playing the game of life and playing the game of capitalism the best. And they've hijacked the system. They've hijacked our minds. So they are definitely a problem and ruthless, all led by the woman who works harder and Satan himself, Kris Jenner. And that's why I do feel a little bit bad for Kylie. Yeah, Kylie, I do feel a little bit bad for you. Maybe like 3% bad for you. The other 97%, I fucking don't. But 3% a bit, because she was born into the Kardashian family. And she was kind of cast as the ugly duckling sibling of the Kardashian family. So I feel like Kylie Jenner, no matter how much work she gets done, no matter how much positive affirmation she gets from likes on Instagram or people buying her product because imitation is the highest form of flattery and we want to look like Kylie, or no matter how big she was in Snapchat or her TV shows, she still looks in the mirror and sees young Kylie Jenner, prototype Kylie Jenner, biological Kylie Jenner. That's who she sees. And when she gets bullied like this because of Paris Fashion Week, she gets this trauma response of breaking down unlike any of her sisters have, because she was the one who was truly strucken by that traumatizing event of growing up less attractive, or to like just made to feel like you're less attractive than the counterpart that are your siblings. A part of me thinks she is in a really conflicting catch-22. I think Kylie Jenner finds herself in this odd place where she is kind of giving her marching orders and she has to look good. She has to keep the family business going. Or even if she wanted to pull a complete Rob Kardashian and just fall off the face of the earth, not be on the show, not play into the fucked up game of real life Monopoly that Kim and Kris are playing, she could have done that, but she just realizes that like this is the life that she was born into, and she knows just to protect herself from the fact that she will always be famous. She was born famous and she was born with 100 million eyes on her at all times. She wanted to get this work done and accidentally have the after effects of making girls feel bad about themselves and setting beauty standards and giving people body dysmorphia. She accidentally did all that just because she wanted to protect herself. She didn't want to be the one who was called ugly, so in turn she accidentally made you feel that way. And now she doesn't get why she is getting hate, because I don't think that was her intention. I think her intention was about protecting herself and making herself feel good. And after she did that, after she got the lips done and she realized everyone loves them, then the business idea came. But at first I think it was just about peace and about not wanting to be bullied. I think that's why I work out too and why I try to take care of myself. It's not even like I just want to be the hottest in the room or the hottest at the gay club or the pool or whatever. It's like I just want to not be bullied. I just want to be left alone, and it's like an armor of mine. I truly don't think Kylie Jenner sits at home and bullies other people or makes snarky comments to her friends about how she's hotter than other girls or she's more cunty than thou. I truly think she probably is nice and empathetic about other people's looks, and she truly is hurt by what people say about her appearance and wouldn't do that to others. But I also think she's unaware that unfortunately she has invited this hyper dissection and this critical uproar by society. I think people see bullying the Kardashians as not a way to dehumanize them, but as a way to express the way that the Kardashians have made them feel bad. And it's almost like retaliating and a retort against them that they feel is earned because of the negative emotions that we have felt by being Kardashianified in our society. That's the whole conversation that Kendall and Kylie should have had. Yes, it's bad that people are making fun of you. You deserve to cry. You deserve to be hurt. All those things are valid. But at the end of the day, Kylie's in a really rough catch-22 because I think she does sit home and laugh at the end of the day. Like, she knows she wins at the end of the day. She's a billionaire. She's made so much money in the beauty industry and she's laughing all the way to the bank. But at the end of the day, I do think she cries as well. I think it's like a laugh and a cry with her sometimes because this is not the life that she would have chosen or would have wanted. And I think she cries because she knows she deserves it. She knows what she has done. Even if she can't fully ever say it out loud just to save face, she knows that she's guilty. And I think that does get to her. And I think Kylie Jenner definitely was not meant to be famous like she said. I think if she was never born into Kris Jenner, that she would probably have garnered a better sense of self-confidence and security. But unfortunately, that is not the situation that she was in. So no, I don't think Kylie Jenner is evil, but I do think she's guilty. And in conclusion, I mostly feel not bad for her. Kendall Jenner, you're a flop. All right, well, thank you guys for joining me today at Pop Culture University. You'll all be marked here on your attendance, present, and I hope you have perfect attendance and you subscribe to enroll here and become a student. Get your PhD at PCU. Make sure to like the video, comment, share. It means so much to do those things. Follow me on my other socials, Petty Pop Culture, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Check out my podcast, Pop Culture University, where we get more into conversations like this every single week. And check out my Snapchat show, Unfiltered Pop. And until next time, students, I love you for watching. Bye. Class is dismissed. Mwah.